Successful traders are priming their mindset in a very specific way to ensure that they have profitable trading days. In this video, I'm going to share with you the science behind priming your psychology for a successful trading day, as well as give you highly actionable insights and things you can do every morning, every day before you trade to ensure that your mindset is primed and is in the best possible state to ensure that you have profits that day. Now, the science behind priming your psychology for a successful trading day. The main overarching concept here that we want to focus on is learning to calm down the amygdala, the emotional part of your brain, and putting the prefrontal cortex, the human part of your brain, in charge. A lot of the trading errors or trading mistakes you make as a trader come from fear and greed. They come from emotional decision making. They come from the amygdala. So when we're talking about priming your psychology for a successful trading day, the focus is on calming down your amygdala and putting the blood glucose and oxygen in your brain to activate the prefrontal cortex. And there are very specific things you can do to facilitate that process, which I'm going to share with you in this video, later in this video. Now, your amygdala is emotional. Your amygdala is responsible for a lot of the over-trading, impulsive trading, FOMO, greed, resentment and fear in the market. That's all run by your amygdala. Your prefrontal cortex is responsible for strategic and objective trading. You know that state of flow you can get into where you're present with the market, and if the market shows you as a signal and you just execute and it's effortless and it's this flow state. If you're in that state, it's most likely because your brain has reallocated resources to the prefrontal cortex and you've got this poise about yourself. Whereas you also are probably familiar with this state where you're highly emotional and you're in this scarcity mindset and you're fearing missing out on a move or a position, and you have this fantasy in your mind about how much money you can make, and you're more jittery, you're more anxious, you're more emotional. That's probably an indication your amygdala is in charge. So a lot of what we're going to do in this video is help you calm down the amygdala and put the prefrontal cortex in charge. Your prefrontal cortex will allow you to adhere to your edge. Your prefrontal cortex is what objectively views the market with as little bias as possible, and it sees, all right, has the market aligned in alignment with my trading plan? If it has, I execute. I follow my process. I stick to my edge. And it's ultimately you showing up and doing that every single day that allows you to have consistent profitability. Because consistent profitability comes from the consistent adherence to your edge, to your trading plan, and ensuring that your mindset allows you to do that. That's where you get consistent profitability from, okay? So one underarching theme here, or one idea that we need to pay attention to, is that you need to have an edge. You need to have a trading plan established first, and you need to make sure that you're certain in that edge, and you've got a mechanical trading plan that you can actually come to the market and follow. If you don't already have that, then you're putting yourself at a significant disadvantage. You're not going to have consistent profitability. So ensure you have that edge, and then focus on the mindset and prime your mindset every trading day to ensure that you can stick to that. So the ideal mindset you want to embody, one that's run through the prefrontal cortex, is what we call process-based mindset. You're making process-based decisions. And the process-based mindset that the tools I'm going to give you at the end are going to help you get to, this is what it looks like. I don't care about the outcome of this individual trade. I'm poised. I'm calm. I'm relaxed. I'm observing the market for what it is. I'm curious about what the market's going to do next. I don't have an agenda. I don't have a certain will of where I want the market to go. I'm not trying to force the market. I don't care about the outcome of this individual trade, okay? Because I know that nobody can predict the outcome of an individual trade. There are so many factors that go on, it's impossible to predict the outcome of an individual trade. What I'm focused on is adhering to my edge. I'm focused on adhering to my trading plan. This is the mindset, the process-based mindset that you need to embody, that the tools I'm going to give you at the end are going to help you embody. And I know if I execute and adhere to my edge, my trading plan, I know I will be profitable over a large sample space. Maybe not on this individual trade, but over a larger sample space, I will be profitable because that's what I tested my edge on. So think about it this way. When you go and back test in the market, you learn a strategy, you go back test that strategy, you then have a sample space of maybe 100 to 1,000 trades that you've back tested. You then look at whether that strategy is profitable or not based on the aggregate of all that data. And if you look through that data, you have win, loss, win, loss, win, 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 loss, win, loss, right? For example, now, when you then go and realize that I've got a profitable edge here based on this back-tested data, you then have to recognize that that is based on a larger sample space. So when you then go and forward trade and actually trade the real life market, to expect every individual trade to be profitable is unrealistic. It's not what you tested in the first place. So you have to think about your outcome in terms of a larger sample space. And the way you do that is by keeping your focus on the process day to day. So I don't care about the outcome of this individual trade. I can't predict what's going to happen next. What I'm focused on is what I can control. And that is my edge, sticking to my trading plan, because I know if I do that, I'm going to end up profitable over that larger sample space because it's been tested. Okay, so the tools that I'm going to give you right now are going to help you embody this specific mindset. The first actionable thing that you can do to ensure that your amygdala is calm, your prefrontal cortex is in charge, and you're focused on that ideal mindset is to moderate your caffeine intake just before you trade. That doesn't mean you get rid of caffeine altogether, but just moderate it. Because what you'll probably find is that having too much caffeine or any sort of stimulants can exaggerate you, and it can make you feel invincible, and it puffs you up. And when you're in that self-exaggerated state, you then minimize the risk in the market. And you're not paying true attention to the market, and you're putting yourself above the market, so you're not present with the market. So by moderating your caffeine intake, you calm down the amygdala, you calm down this elated response, and your brain literally reallocates its resources to the prefrontal cortex when you calm down the amygdala, and you give yourself more permission to actually stick to process-based decisions and make process-based decisions in alignment with your trading plan, because you're seeing the market for what it really is in that moment, not a skewed perception of risk because you're all happy and elated from the caffeine. So moderate your caffeine intake. Number 2, hydrate and eat a low-carb breakfast if you're eating before. Don't eat too much, but stay hydrated, because also if you're hungry, your amygdala is going to be activated because, anthropologically, the hunger response is what kickstart a lot of the fight or flight survival response to, I need to go out there and find food. So you had an increase in adrenaline and cortisol, and all these responses, survival responses, are going to take you away from your trading plan. They're going to stimulate fear and greed because that's necessary for survival, but it's not necessary for successful trading. So make sure you're hydrated, make sure you have a small meal or a low carb meal so you don't crash. Or if you don't like to eat, if you're not hungry in the morning, that's fine. You don't have to eat. But what I'm trying to communicate here is don't be hungry and don't be thirsty. So nourish yourself, but don't eat too much either, because then you'll feel sluggish. The next thing, do some sort of a deep breathing focus or meditation just before you trade. And focus on breathing deeply into the diaphragm, or do some sort of a 5 or 10 minute guided meditation. I've got one on my YouTube channel as well. And what this is going to help do is, again, calm down the amygdala. The whole focus here is calming down that survival response, putting the prefrontal cortex in charge so that you can adhere to your trading plan. The next one, review your trading plan. Go through your processes, your pre-established edge and processes and trading plan, and have that at the forefront of your mind. Remind yourself of the ideal mindset. Remind yourself that the focus today is to stick to these processes and trading plan. Remind yourself of that before you trade. Then go to the market and plan your trades. Plan the type of decisions you're going to make. Forecast that day and prepare as best you can for that actual trading day, and have a game plan there. The amygdala tends to get heightened when it's overwhelmed with decisions. And if it has a lot of stimulus coming in and it doesn't know what to do with it, it gets overwhelmed, it gets activated, the survival response kicks in. So by having a trading plan, a trading checklist, right, and going in there and planning your trading day and having some level of a game plan of what you would do in each scenario, that allows you to calm down your amygdala, put the prefrontal cortex in charge. If you don't already have a trading plan, not organized, if you don't already have a checklist, go and download my free 6-figure template in the description below and use that to ensure that you have everything that you need in your trading plan. So when you show up to the market, you can be in that poised state. Next, plan your day's action steps and what you're doing for that day. Because sometimes you can be overwhelmed by your day and life and your work and relationships and everything you think you have to do that day. And that can be overwhelming, and that can come into your trading and impact that. So make sure you have structure to your day and you've planned your day and you've got checklists and stuff to take care of that. Anything to help you quiet down the amygdala and get focused for that day. Then dump all your thoughts. If you're overwhelmed before you trade or you have a lot on your mind, get a piece of paper and a pen and just dump all your thoughts onto that piece of paper and pen. And focus on clearing your mind of all these distractions and remind yourself, I'll get to that after I trade. Dump all the ideas onto the paper and that will help you clear your mind. And these are highly actionable things you can do, which are very simple and very easy to do. Now, I also have my Bulletproof Your Mindset tool, which is the exact tool that I teach my six-figure traders to implement before every single trade they take. This is a completely free tool. Go into the link in the description and download that. And what that tool is going to help you do is it's going to help you identify any unrealistic expectations that you have in your mind about what you think the outcome is going to be, your agenda, your will that you're imposing onto the market. It's going to help you identify those in real time, and it's going to help you ground those. And then it's also going to help you adhere to your trading plan. So that tool's already laid out to help you go through that process. And then in that tool, I also have the ideal mindset. So it's guiding you to that ideal mindset. So if you resonated with the ideas I've given in this lecture, make sure you go in there and download that tool and you use that before every single trade you take. And what that's going to help you do is it's going to help you actually embody the ideal mindset, not just intellectualize it and not follow through, but to actually embody that mindset. And then, of course, implement all the other quick wins and easy action steps that I've mentioned in today's video. And really just have self-awareness before you trade and recognize, what am I doing in my life? What decisions or actions am I making or taking? And how are they impacting my trading decisions? If you're drinking too much caffeine, maybe take that back just before you trade, right? So be aware of these things. Be aware of how they impact your decision making. Be aware how they impact your emotional state, in particular, how they activate your amygdala, and implement these things that will help quiet that down, help you get more process-based and more focused. Okay? If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with your trading friends. Share it in your trading community. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.